come to the Limerick Motor Club Sprints at Effin between Charleville and Kilmallock, just on the Limerick border. These are rounds 9 and 10 of the Naylor Engineering National Hillclimb and Sprint Championship. The Limerick Motor Club were using this excellent venue once again, with easy spectator access from the R515 Charleville to Kilmallock Road. The sprint uses a return route which encircles the paddock so cars could file in and out without having to stop after each run to return via the course. This ensured that the 50 plus competitors enjoyed 5 runs each day and an early finish. Michael Connolly hasn't returned yet since his off in Carlow, so Joe Courtney had an opportunity to stretch his newly received championship lead. Joe would have been forgiven for taking it easy all weekend, but instead he pushed on with a stylish performance in the Reynard, maintaining a considerable advantage over Rory Stevens. We caught up with Rory hot off the third run on Sunday. Rory Stevens, you're literally just straight in off the third run and out of breath.
Not breathless in any way.
It's good to see, and you're actually finding more time out there as the day goes on.
I went 2 seconds quicker today than I did yesterday, and there's a bit more in it. But it's braking areas, and the braking areas are really important. If you overcook it, you're gone. So it's a really fine line to just stretch it to exactly what you'll get rid of. And then the last 2 bends are brilliant, but there's big decisions to be made. You're either reasonably brave or stupidly brave. And if you're stupidly brave, you are going quite hard through the last one.
Rory had a very comfortable margin in second place both days and has inherited that position in the current championship standings too.
Anyway, look, here's all the bad news coming.
So yeah, the times are just arriving, so we'll go down and get those. Well done, Rory, and take a breather.
We will, thank you.
Oh, did you actually bring him one? That was very kind.
Well, I know why you brought me one now. Great time, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
You big priestly person. Oh, I broke 60. Well, that's all I wanted to do. Well done, Joe.
Aidan's leading the Centos again.
And your brother's just after taking the lead in the Centos on that run?
Yeah, he's beaten Gary Egan in his own car by 2/10, so I'd say he'll be happy enough with that.
That could get a little bit intense with probably a potential 2 more runs to go.
Yeah, it could. Centos is never finished until the last run.
Joe's onboard footage gives us an idea of the winning pace over the second half of the course. After run 2 on Saturday, Deirdre McKinley held that position in her Opel Lotus from Robert Bell. Both improved their time significantly on run 3, with Robert now ahead. He stretched this advantage as the afternoon progressed to take 3rd overall and 1st in Class 6. It looked likely to be a similar result on Sunday, but Deirdre put in a stunning time after Robert had an off.
A wee bit mishap when we went to push a wee bit harder, so wishbones in front, wing and back wishbone, so hopefully we might have it out for Mondello.
Did you have ambitions on second place?
It was kind of seeing it there, yeah, but it just pushed too hard and one forced right-hander and just couldn't get stopped, missed the gear and straight into the post.
In the end he had to settle for a tied 4th place on Sunday and another win in the class. John Mahan, who'd been 7th the first day, inspired by the fine result Enda Byrne achieved in his car in Carlow, decided to join the party and just pipped Deirdre to 3rd place by 0.05 of a second on the last run of the weekend. John Mahan, Sunday afternoon at the Limerick Sprints here at Effin. Very good performance there on the last run. What did you just do?
Basically I just got my finger out and trusted the car and myself and had a brilliant run. Really enjoyed it.
You'd climbed to 4th place by the 4th run. And you leapfrogged into 3rd place.
Yeah, there was a certain little lady putting pressure on me, so I had to try. And so, Deirdre gave me a bit of incentive to go on. So, happy days, 3rd overall. Okay. Very happy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much.
And Robert Bell had been holding on to that 3rd place for a long time, but he'd had an off earlier on.
Yeah, unfortunately. We don't know what happened, but you will tell him we'd have beaten him anyway.
You were very generous there in Carlow, lending your car to Enda Byrne as well.
Yeah, sure, he gave me the fight of my life, so I would not have to do something now after that. So not had him get all the glory.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So you have it yourself now. You have a third place
Absolutely,
overall.
Yeah. Capable of doing it then, so. Like the old dog get.
Now, you should know your way around Mondello, I'd say. So you're probably looking forward to the next one, but they're probably going the wrong way around, is it?
Oh, sure, I probably often went backwards around running it. I don't, to be honest, I don't sure what way they're running it. I have been around there a few times.
Yeah.
Once or twice. So I'm
looking
forward to a good weekend now.
And you, I hear you're doing a little bit of work for Gerard O'Connor. He had a bit of misfortune with his engine.
Yeah, for my sins, yeah, I'm going to have to rebuild his little motor for him.
Yeah.
And we'll have him out as well.
Yeah.
So keep me busy during the week.
No rest for the wicked, as
No
they
rest
say.
for the week, exactly.
Deirdre's final time was the other half of that tie with Robert. Russell Stanworth had partially rebuilt his engine after a disaster in Carlow. 9th on Saturday, but there still appears to be a problem, and he sat out Sunday. The top saloon car battle was also scintillating, and mixing it with the single-seaters during the day. Mark Carroll in the Turbo Starlet led initially, with Neil Dugan right behind in the rear-wheel drive Peugeot 205. Then the Peugeot driver, followed by Dennis Hogan's supercharged BMW, slipped ahead on run 3. Dennis took a 3/10 lead on run 4 from Neil. We caught up with Mark, who had just arrived into the paddock from the final run Saturday, with a surprise for him in the timesheet. Mark Carroll, you've just done your 5th run. You haven't seen the timesheet yet. How did it feel?
To be honest with you, I've thrown everything at it. There's nothing left in the car. It's been very close all day between Neil in the Peugeot and myself and Dennis Hogan. And Dennis pulled a blinder on, I think, run 4 and took a second out of both of us. I don't know where he got the time from, but I went out on the 5th and just threw everything at it. And if anybody else wants to go faster, they can take the car. Simple as that.
Yeah, so I think after run 4, I think Dennis had just jumped ahead of Neil. And this is the timesheet after run 5.
Thank you very much. I'll be honest with you. I won last year, and to be honest, it was kind of a false win because the weather had a lot to do with it. This is the first time that I've beaten everybody fair and square, and I'm absolutely over the moon. Cannot believe that. Really, really chuffed with that now.
Well, congratulations. Take it easy this evening, and we look forward to seeing how you get on tomorrow.
Yeah, does this mean I have to buy rounds? It's like golf when you get a hole in one. Have I got to buy a drink or something?
Lots of Fanta for everybody.
I'd just like to briefly take the opportunity just to thank all of my sponsors. FlexiVent, Toshiba, Declare Champion, My Materials, 2020, everybody who helps me with the car, especially my dad, who comes down to every event. But for them, it simply wouldn't be possible. And this is a really special one for me.
It's not only a 3B win, but it's the fastest saloon of the day.
Yeah, and 5th overall. What a day, you know. I'm pub and go home tomorrow. That's it. I'm done for the weekend. No, I'm really thrilled. That's a really special one.
5th overall, first in class 3B, and fastest saloon is worth celebrating. Dennis Hogan told us about his day. Dennis Hogan, you're fastest saloon at the end of run 4. And you just leapt into that position. It didn't quite work out that way on the 5th run.
It wasn't for the want of trying. Got a red flag. Alan had a bit of an issue with the bail and got back to the start and figured out finally how to make a good start on the new tyres. Went off the line, got on great, and went in too hot into the second square right junction, and somehow managed to go up on 2 wheels there. And landed, went on third right junction, and I was a bit wound up at this stage and just made a meal of it. And remarkably, I still managed to go faster, just not fast enough. So well done to Mark, fair play to him.
Yeah, he's understandably delighted with himself, but you managed to get your tyres in the end, did you? You were really disappointed without them in Carlow.
Yes, yeah, they're not the tyres I was looking for, but I'm very happy with how they've worked out. They're far cheaper than the regular Avons, so that they have any sort of grip at all is fantastic. Delighted with them.
So is there more time in the car?
Yes, yeah, keep it tidy tomorrow. And now that I have the start down, if it stays dry, hopefully we'll be able to go a little bit harder tomorrow.
On Sunday, Dennis Hogan led initially, but then Peter McKinley, returning to form, took the saloon lead after barely making the top 10 overall on the first day. Dennis really got to grips with the course on run 3 and continued to improve over the remaining 2 rounds. He had great home support and was delighted to take the class win and 6th overall Sunday. Derek Butler was 10th overall in his Honda Civic on Sunday, fastest front-wheel drive at the event and first in Class 8 that day. Tommy Gardner was first in the class on day 1 and second on day 2 in 11th overall. Mick and Damien Walsh spent a day each in the MK Indy. Mick was 11th overall on Saturday while Damien made 15th Sunday. Gary Cunningham was 3rd in Class 6 and 12th overall in his screaming Global GT Light on round 9. Dan Mulcahy drove his ex-Stephen Finlay Malcolm Wilson Motorsport Escort Cosworth to 12th overall Sunday. Dan Mulcahy, you've a historic Escort Cosworth here today, L10 MWM.
I have, yeah. It's the next Stephen Finlay's car, Malcolm Wilson car. I have it now, 7-8 years, we'll say. That kind of did a bit of rallying and it has a great history, but I'm afraid I can't live up to the history the other people had with it anyway, especially Stephen Finlay. Like, he won the circuit and did the lakes in it as well. They are good from 82, 83, that kind of but it has a great history and it's a car I enjoy driving. Just do the hill climbs and odd sprint here and there. That's it. Really. To put it back to its original colours, it took us about 2.5 years, we'll say. So between everything and anything, we put it back to original. We're quite happy with it. That kind of enjoyable. We can't drive it to the ability they can do it anyway, unfortunately.
But you seem to get a fair bit out of it now on these hill climbs. It's nice to see the car driven properly, and you have the full anti-lag and everything, don't you?
We do have. We have the stage 1 and 2 in this one. That kind of way. I've tried it in stage 2, but for me it's a bit of a handful of stage 2. But anti-lag now with stage 1 is ideal around here. That kind of, the day is dry and it makes it enjoyable as well. That kind of way. So we're quite happy doing it today. I can put in good times as well, so we're happy out.
Fair play. Was it a car you actually sought out, or were you kind of lucky in finding it?
We seen it out maybe 10, 20 years ago. We just always watched it, and we're just into Fords anyhow all my life. We'll say, but this car, we knew Hal Lewis had it before I had, and we see him in a second Munster, I'd say 12, 15 years ago. He had a tip on the left hand side of it. So we just kept the history of where it was going. It hadn't moved out of his shed for that amount of time, and just kept asking him what was he doing with the car. We eventually made a deal anyway, and we brought it home. It was all taken apart that time. It took us 2.5 years to put it to where it is today. So that's how I got it. Just took us 2 years, so we have it 5 years. So that's the history as I have put down it anyway.
And has it been able to keep its original engine and everything?
We have it kept as original as we could have. We'll say, it's a WRC manifold, the same turbo as in it. It has 2-stage anti-lag as well. That kind of way. So that's all the original as it was before. The engine is basically the same now. It has been done up and rebuilt, we'll say, but everything is the same. The suspension setup is all the same. The roll cage is the same. Everything is as almost original as you can. It was yellow inside as well before. We put it back to its original colour because it was red when we got it, but it's got to come back to the original colour now.
Yeah, so here's the question. Is this a yellow or a blue car?
Well, I consider it a yellow car anyway. Some people might say only blue, but we consider it a yellow car.
It might be unlucky for some, but 13th overall both days for John Kennedy in the Dax Rush, claimed first in Class 3A both days. John Laffey put in a Sunday appearance in his Chevette for second in the class. Danny Calnan was first in Class 9 in his Opel Corsa, from Pat Barry, who was second in his Escort Saturday, and third in his Sierra Cosworth Sunday, while James Bradley took the win in another of the rear-wheel drive Peugeots. Gerard Deneen was second this time in a similarly propelled Starlet. David Byrne was second in Class 8 on Saturday in his Vauxhall Nova, just holding off Ger O'Brien, who was a newcomer to hill climbing from Hot Rod Racing. Ger O'Brien, this is your second hill climb weekend. You're a convert from Hot Rod Racing, is that right?
Hot Rod Racing, yeah, was Hot Rod Racing for 13 or 14 years and took a break from it, built a house, made a family, got it all in front of me and back at racing again.
We've seen you have the kitten with you and everything this weekend.
Kitten, yeah, most important. So she's like another member of the family.
That's
part of it. But no, it's brilliant. Well organised for some event. unbelievable.
And how do you find the racing on this kind of a course?
Oh, I love it. Do you know, and you're just out for 5 or 6 whips at it, and you just put in your best time throughout the whole lot, which is, you either have balls for it or not. You have to put it into it, do you know, make it work.
Yeah.
Do you know, you might be slow in the morning, but at least it's your fastest time in the whole day counts, which makes an awful difference, do you know. Whereas with the racing, there's a lot of banging and this and that and fixing and push up, do you know. It's part of it. It's nice.
And
change.
It's an unusual start. Can you tell us about it a bit?
All Honda B16 running gear inside the front of it, completely Honda. Underneath the bonnet is Honda. Nothing else inside it. She's just shy of 200 brake horsepower. Built it at home myself, homemade, completely. Everything, even painted myself. So,
how long did you spend at that?
Just shy of 4 years building her. You know, and it was my road car.
Yeah.
So she's unusual. She's wide arched, all done. A lot of working into it.
Ger was pushed back to 4th in the class by a very impressive young driver, Cian Walsh, in a Corolla twin cam on Sunday. Class 2 was also hotly contested over the weekend. Gary Graham led after his first run on Saturday. Then William Barrett in a Honda Civic got ahead after run 2. Peugeot driver Graham then reasserted himself on run 3 and held on for the win. Gary Graham competing in a 205 in Class 2. You've had a very exciting day with William Barrett's Civic.
Yeah, we were very close all day. Yeah, that I started out this morning, had a few fuel problems again, but I finally got them sorted out, thank God. So the car went very well now. I'm absolutely delighted with it. Going very well today, very, very well. They gave Tony a good run for his money, so I bet him, by second or second and a half or something today. So thrilled with that, absolutely thrilled.
How does that leave your championship? Have you worked it out yet?
I haven't worked it out. I think I'm second in the championship, but the win today and Tony being second, I'm not exactly sure what way it's going to work out, but have a look at later on and see what we can do.
And you're literally swapping positions with Williams' car all day, weren't you? I think he was ahead at the beginning, was he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but he was ahead, so I kind of got the head down and clawed them all back and got the class win in the end. So I'm delighted with myself.
There's some great singing going on there in the background. But, was there any particular part of the hill where you were kind of working on to find time today?
The first section, absolutely the first section. Like I'm trying to take it as flat out as you can. Like there's 1 or 2 lifts in it, but that's more from the comfort lift than anything else, if you know what I mean. But the car is probably capable of doing it, but it's just a slight lift just to get around it. But
they're actually a car that's kind of known for a bit of back off oversteer, so when you're downhill into a corner it must be fairly challenging.
No, it's not too bad because there's an extra kit you can buy for actually the back of them to actually sort to stop all that. So I bought that last winter and put it into it, so like the car's on rails through the corners there. It absolutely goes great now, flies.
And is that a bushing kind of kit?
Yes,
or
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's an actual bushing kit, like you can buy, and it's fit to the back axle, and it stops all that. Cures it. So
sounds like money well spent. Well, listen, we're looking forward to seeing how you get on now tomorrow.
Thanks very much. That's great. Looking forward to it myself.
It was a tight finish on Sunday too. Gary led on until run 4, where William Barrett got ahead again, but an even quicker time on the last run of the weekend made it 2 in a row for the Peugeot driver. Joseph Clifford was 3rd in a Honda Civic on the first day, and Tony Banville claimed that position on the second. Ben O'Brien has sorted the diesel problem with his BMW. He's put in a petrol V8. Ben O'Brien, are you causing a disturbance here this morning?
A little bit, yeah. It is first day out, but let's hope now we get a bit of a drive out of it, you know.
It looks like you could have left the diesel in front of that. That's pretty far back.
Yeah, there's room for an auxiliary engine there if we need it, you know. So it is, it's pretty far back. There's a lot of modification, but hopefully it'll make a bit of a difference to it anyway in terms of turning and all that. So the bonnet stay is fantastic. So it comes with a Mark Carroll. We put him in the boot, drive it around.
And what is it? Which engine have you put in?
It's an M5 V8. Well, they're 400 horsepower, it's a standard, but there's a better set of manifolds. Stone Motorsport made manifolds for their 2-inch primary and equal length. So the standard manifolds on the M5 are just cat in terms of design. They're kind of almost like a log manifold, and there's 2 going into one on one side. So they're very restrictive. So hopefully should make a little bit more than the 400. Maybe just might breathe a bit better or whatever, you know. But there's a supercharger was bought for it as well, but we've very much so ran out of time, so it's going to be the supercharger will just have to wait now at this stage, you know. But,
Was it a late night last night?
Yeah, a late night for the last 2 weeks. It's been 2-3 o'clock in the morning finishes, but yeah, just trying to get there. Just don't see the time going. It's kind of we get a car together and you start seeing an engine go in and you start to see axles going in and you think, oh great, I'm nearly there. No, it's all the little bits that'll get you. The hoses and clips and bleeding brakes and bleeding clutches and so on and so forth. But yeah, no, we got there. Rode in a bit of help from the guys, and yeah, we got there. So hopefully now we'll get a bit of a trouble-free day out of it anyway,
Well done, and we're glad you've stuck with this shell. It's been around a while now.
The idea is to kind of maybe eventually go for like the likes of the touring car type body kit or whatever, and go with that and paint it and do bits and pieces. But just for at this stage now, just zero time. So that'll be next year's build maybe, But I think we'll go with the touring car look anyway, as far as we have the extended steering column, So it's it'll kind of it'll help with the whole touring car vibe, but it eventually does have the kit and caboodle, Loads of room for your feet, and we've had to try 3 different pedal boxes before we got one that kind of half fits. So yeah, this is going to be an ongoing working restoration, I think, or whatever over the next couple of months, But we'll get there hopefully.
Right, we better let you get on with it this morning. Thanks for that.
Cheers.
Best of luck today. In Class 4 on scratch times, Mick O'Shea and Seamus Anderson were at hammer and tongs Saturday. Seamus led initially in the Ford Anglia, but Mick took over in the afternoon. Just over 1/10 of a second separated them on the first day. They swapped positions all day Sunday, but Mick stretched out more than a second of an advantage on the final run. PJ Gannon was third both days in his Mini, followed by an increasingly smoky Sean Murray in the Lotus Elan. Dara Fay put in a dominant performance in his Mark 1 Suzuki Swift to win Class 1A both days. Deirdre McKinley was second on Saturday, also driving her Nova in Class 1A. William Power charged to third the first day and second on Sunday in his distinctive blue Mini. John Whitley and Gerard O'Connor were separated by just 1 point coming into this weekend in the Class 5 Championship. Unfortunately, Gerard's campaign hit a major setback when his engine ran out of oil. He shared John's car for a second place on Saturday, but that car too was struggling with gear change issues, and John ran solo on Sunday, taking a further class win. Former Cento Challenge winner Aidan Courtney made a guest appearance in Neil Bradbury's Cento on Saturday. He led after run 2, but Gary Egan re-established himself as top man in the series by the evening. Neil Bradbury made it into second by then, with Billy White fourth, sharing Gary's car. Aidan Courtney, Gary Egan, Neil Bradbury, all in the Cento Challenge together. You've been sharing cars. It's good to have you back, Aidan, by the way.
Thanks.
4/10 was the margin at the end of the day. Who led first?
After run 1, was it you, Gary?
I think it was, yeah.
Gary.
And then run 2?
I was leading after run 2 then.
And Neil?
No, I wasn't leading at any stage. 4th after run 2 or 3, and then 2nd then after run 4, I think. So.
And Aidan, what's it like to be back?
It's good to be back. It's hard staying away from it for that long, but I don't think the next break I take will be as long, so hopefully not.
Whose car were you sharing today?
Driving Neil's car today and driving Gary's car tomorrow, so should be good just to pick out the differences between them and see if there's anything we can change with them or anything.
Gary, was there anywhere in particular you felt you picked up time today?
Not really. It's one of them hills. It's kind of frustrating. If you make a mistake anywhere, that's your run lost. There's 3 square rights, and the rest of it's kind of flat in the chinks. So there's not a lot of places to make up time. But it was great to have Aidan back. It was probably the tightest battle all year, and 4 cars, and it was fantastic. So looking forward to tomorrow now, having Aidan out in my car and getting some feedback. So
great stuff. And Neil, you were saying earlier you had an interesting display when you arrived into one of the corners this morning. What did you see?
The first, that was the second square right, and basically just arrived into the corner and was like, oh look, there's a huge cloud of smoke here. And Gary was in front of me on the line, so it must have been him just locking up left, right and centre. It's pretty funny.
What happened to Gary?
Just pushed the brake in a little bit too late and went into the runoff area backwards through the bales, so it's scary enough.
Did you manage to get it all the way around before you went through the bales?
I reversed through the bales. There's good flat spots on my tyre after, so it's nice lock up into it.
Well, it's good to know that there's still new tricks to be found in the Centos. Looking forward to the action tomorrow. Bob Fenlon was fifth that day, leading another pack of the diminutive cars. The double driver swapped steeds on Sunday for another extremely tight battle, and sensationally it ended with Billy White first in Neil's car, followed by Aidan Courtney in Gary's. Neil was trying every possible approach to the second junction. He'd be third at the end of the weekend. Gary Egan, who had won all but one of the previous rounds, was fourth. Danny Hurley was fifth, leading the second bunch from Fenlon this time. Less than half a second covered the top four. Sadly, Leanne Carroll, who was pushing very hard in that second bunch, had a big off.
Big one.
Luckily without serious injury, but she may be looking for another silver shell again. All agreed it was a fantastic weekend sport in Limerick, and the great effort by the club to provide a first-class venue, hospitality and entertainment was very much noted. Championship leader Joe lends us his perspective.
It's a great event, you know. Yesterday we got 5 runs in before 4:30. We've just done our third run now and probably get 5 again this evening, but it's a fantastic setup here. Paddock, drive in there Friday evening and park up and don't worry about moving or anything for the whole weekend, you know. So it really is a social event as much as a competition, but yeah, I'm delighted to be winning, you know. It's a tricky enough hill out there again. It's not unlike Carlow a couple of weeks ago, you know. It's narrow and tight in places, so I'm finding the pace out there now. Probably got a bit more time on the last run there, so we'll see what Rory's done now, but we're still having a good battle, but it's the kind of hill where you don't want to make any mistakes anyways, you know, so we won't be on the limit 100% anyways, but we'll be close enough, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't have Michael Connolly for these two, because they might have been ones that, you know, it's hard to know what way it would have gone with the two cars on these particularly tight hills.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll have them back fairly soon.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, I was looking forward to having a battle with them, and these couple of ones, especially, I'd have a bit slightly more matched battle, I suppose. But yeah, hopefully he gets the car fixed and he's back out, you know, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of battles in the future anyways.
The next championship rounds will be at Mondello Park, hosted by the Motor Enthusiast Club, for a pure racetrack experience. I'll give the last word to Rory Stevens.
We have a very, very special person among us who was an official today, and the man is a legend in Irish motorsport and especially in mud plugs and hill climbs. And Frank Nuttall was the MI steward today, and it's so good to have Frank here. Just so many years invested of his life into making our days great, and I think we should raise a glass and give him a big yahoo. Thank you, Frank.